Rev up your engine! Well, I couldn't resist this one because it's a rarity. It's a Toyota Tacoma 4x4. You know the thing's going to last. Not that many people want standards anymore, but this guy bought it used. He looked around, and after a month, he found it. A 6-speed manual transmission Tacoma. Now, as you can see, it's 4-wheel drive, but he doesn't take it off-road. Now, he's a homeowner, so he's got a small trailer and he uses it for bringing all the crap that he needs from Home Depot and stuff. He's not one of these wild, crazy off-roaders, you know, who's going to be climbing over boulders. You can to some extent, but of course, they last a lot longer when you keep them on the road. Now, mechanically, he changed the oil and filter. That's pretty much it. Now, he's upgraded to LEDs, and anybody who's an audiophile knows Toyota stereos pretty much suck. So he put a fancy sound system in it. Now, I do have to say, the only good system I ever saw was one of my wife's Lexus, and that's got the top of the line 12 speaker system that they put in the Lexuses. But the Toyota systems, yeah, they're kind of weak, so he put a really good sound system, but he didn't have to do any work in 2 years. He bought it used 2 years ago. Of course, the Toyota, you know, they're going to break down very often. Change the battery. Toyota batteries are somewhat weak. And you can see it's a northern car, so all the stuff's going to have a little bit of pitting on it. That doesn't mean anything. Care about is the undercarriage. And you can see, this thing's clean as a whistle. He takes care of it. Now, it came with these rims and these tires. They're excellent. They're very good looking pickup trucks. Toyota's gone a long way. He's a serious driver. Real trucks don't ship themselves. Now, it's got a nice black and chrome interior. These things, basically, they're going to run forever. They're a lot more comfy than they used to be. The 4-wheel drive is all electronic. 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel high, 4-wheel low. Simple to do. And even though I'm a fan of the old-fashioned ones where you had a real shifter, you shifted it by hand, well, they really don't make them like that anymore. And the Toyota electronics are pretty reliable. I don't see them breaking down. Now, the owner just told me, well, he did more than just change the engine oil. He also changed the transmission oil, the diff oil, and the transfer case oil. Changing the oils, that's all you need to do on these Toyotas. They can just last so long. Now, especially in his case, he's got a 4-wheel drive system, but he's not taking it off-road. He's a homeowner. He uses it for pulling stuff around. He's not going to beat it all up. You can beat any vehicle up. My grandson almost bought a 4-wheel drive Tundra until I went with him and checked it out and found out that the transmission was completely going out with a bunch of pending codes that they had previously erased before they tried selling it to him. You can beat anything if you take it off-road. If you don't take it off-road, hey, they can last forever. He's got his own real key. He didn't like the fancy one with the buttons in it. He's got a remote over here. Simplicity. Start her up. It's a Toyota, you know it's going to start up. Nice smooth engine. And it's the fancy one, so it's got the sliding rear windows on it, just like a Ford. Whee! Bunch of power locks off to get power. Check it out. Seats look beautiful, right? These are seat covers he put on himself. Those are beautiful seat covers. Now, he doesn't want kids to kick the back of the seat because he has kids, so he's got these Innova covers for the back. That's so the kids don't kick him. But he's going to look on his phone. He bought it on Amazon, and they're called Dr. Carnow's, and they're $279 for a pair. Now, some people say, oh, that's too much. They look like factory leather seats. You just price reupholstering a seat and see what it's going to cost you. And then you look at these. Reupholstering them is you buy them and then you take them off and you flop the new ones on. Not only do these car seats look good, they feel good because they're padded inside. Now I'm thinking about buying a pair of them. Now it wasn't just the front seats. For the $279, he got front and back. Look at these back ones. They also fit perfectly. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. Now we'll do a little diagnosis. I'm sure nothing's wrong, but an auto scan. The important stuff here, there's no DTCs, but there's a bunch of little squirrely ones. Okay, front recognition camera. Let's see what that is. Okay, it says that the camera's dirty. And I get this more often than not. Understand something. You get these modern cars, they got these vehicle assistants for lane changing, all that crap. Well, what do they use? Cameras. What happens to cameras? Now it's beeping at me. What happens to cameras? Cameras get dirty. I guess it didn't like the idea that I knew it was dirty. So you do have to clean your cars and pay attention to the little camera ports and clean them good. Otherwise, the systems get squirrely and they trip these dumb codes. We got the lane keeping assist, departure alert. We'll look at that one too. Communication with control body module is lost. A lot of these things will trip when you change the battery of the car and nobody bothers flipping them over. So, in this case, we're going to erase these dumb codes and take it for a road test. So, you can see they're all gone. So, let's look at some live data here. It's only got 61,000 miles on it. There it is, 61,772. Battery voltage is fine. Start looking through all the data, see if anything looks squirrely. The injection switching state. Ratio, look, 0.00. You can't get any better than that. And that's the worst value. It would show, if once in a while it was off a little, it'd show you the worst one. It's still at 0. Those codes to come back, as you can see, the battery cable was disconnected 3,133 kilometers ago. And nobody reset anything, so I'm assuming that's why it had those codes. We'll find when we come back. Of all cylinders exactly the same. 51, 199, all 6 of them. It's running perfectly smooth. And of course the misfires, 0, 0, 0, 0. All 6 of them are 0. The vapor pressure on the anti-pollution pump. So of course all the data's fantastic. Let's take it for a road test. Now it's ultra smooth just sitting there. It has 4-wheel drive, so we can get way over this hump with no problems at all. Whee! Take it up to the highway. And the owner told me to lean on it, so we're going to lean on it when we get to the top. Clear on one side, not on the other. All right. Here comes our opening. Here we go. This thing goes. Smooth shifting, because I'm shifting it myself. It's a standard transmission, or manual, I should say. Corner's perfectly fine. Isn't too overly trucky. Sure, it's high up in the air, but it still has pretty good handle. No problem at all driving it with one hand on the camera and one for shifting. Nice stable tracking, and when you want to go, you just step on the gas. Decent sounding V6 too, doesn't sound wimpy. No, my son's got the same version of this truck, just a couple years newer, but this is more fun to drive because it does have a 6-speed manual transmission. And it is quite a bit zippier, I do have to say. This thing is more of a speed hauler. So let's check out what's left. I said I was going to check for trouble codes, right? Because I erased them all since the battery had been changed in. Well, no trouble codes, they're all gone. So here we have it. A guy who knows trucks. He drives an oil tanker, those big ones that bring the gasoline to the gas stations for a living. But what did he buy when he wanted a truck? He bought this Tacoma 4-wheel drive with a 6-speed transmission on it, and he loves it. I gotta say, it was more fun than driving my son's because of that manual transmission. Just gives it more oomph. You feel like you have more control driving it that way. After all, it is 4-wheel drive if you want to put it in 4-wheel drive, and you really are better off with a standard transmission when you're doing off-roading. I mean, they have automatics set to do all kinds of tricky things, but nothing works the same as different gears and a clutch you can control and feather yourself. So there it is. He doesn't go off-road in it. He doesn't want to. He's a family man and he enjoys it and he's having fun with it. Hey, if you can find a standard transmission one, good luck finding one, but it only took him a month to find one, and he got it used, and away he goes. He is going to change the tires. He doesn't want them that aggressive because, after all, he's not going off-road. So he's going to less aggressive tires, and it'll be quieter. It'll also ride a little better. It won't bump as much because these aggressive tires, they're a little bumpy riding, too. I mean, you're going to get a lot smoother ride with highway tires on them. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Ricky's grandson said, Scotty, what's your opinion on an 06 BMW Z4 naturally aspirated? Okay, great engines. They can run forever. They're BMWs. There's a lot of plastic crap on them, even on an 06. If it cracks, it's going to cost you a fortune to fix. BMW parts cost a fortune. But if taken care of, those somewhat older ones, they're beautiful looking cars. They're fun to drive around in. A lot of times my grandson picks them up cheap and then he sells them on. He flips cars. A car like that is an easy car to flip because they're good looking cars, right? Now, if you're thinking about buying one, don't overpay, because they don't particularly have insane high values. Because everybody that knows cars knows BMWs are expensive to fix and can turn into endless money. Because if you want it as a toy, you get a good price, go ahead. If you're talking about an everyday driver, forget it. It's an endless money pit. Santa Claus says, 2024 Mazda CX-5, is it a good buy? Well, as far as I'm concerned, no brand new car is a good buy because they all cost too much money. I would always rather buy a used car. I can buy, say, a used Toyota, used Honda, used Mazda. Say it's got 50, 60,000 miles. It might still have over 80% of its life left. but I can generally get it for 40% or less. So even if I had to pay 40%, well, I pay 40% of the original 100%, but if it's got 80% of its value, I just doubled my money, right? Buying a new car, you're never going to get a phenomenal deal, right? Never. The average new price in the United States is like $44,000 something dollars. So you can always find a used car for less, and if you take some time and price around like lots of my customers do, you can get good deals at a good price, save a lot of money. Plus, you want to do the math. The insurance on new cars is a fortune. You buy a $50,000 car, if it's stolen, they got to fork out 50 G's. Hey, you get a used car, the insurance rates are much, much cheaper. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.